Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, we're going to travel back in time to the 1880s to check out who really built the Dakota. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now let's begin our journey. As of the time of this recording, immigration is a big topic. And every once in a while, people just keep saying to me, you know, immigrants built the Dakota. But I think that might not be the flex that they think it is. So kindly allow me to explain. The Dakota apartment building was built by hardworking Americans, many of whom were born in Germany, Italy, and Ireland, and others who were on the road to becoming full citizens of the USA because they loved America and the American people. And they came here ready to work hard and to share their talents and be part of the community. Constructed from 1880 to 1884 at 1 West 72nd Street in New York City, the Dakota served as a luxury rental complex commissioned by Edward Cabot Clark and designed by architect Henry Janeway Hardenberg. Yep, you heard that correctly. The apartments were rented. Even though the residents were rolling in dough, they did not own their own apartments pre-1960. The site, a 200 by 200 foot plot overlooking Central Park and not too far from the Hudson River, was first cleared of scrub brush, rocks, and uneven terrain using picks, shovels, and explosives. And you thought you had a hard job. Workers excavated foundations as far down as 20 feet into the bedrock for stability on the sloping ground. The land was then leveled with compacted gravel and soil to form a flat base. The building's foundation walls at the base, constructed of sandstone laid in cement mortar, were 3 to 4 feet thick to ensure stability on the site's bedrock. These tapered upward, with the first-story walls measuring about 2 feet thick. This robust masonry design contributed to the building's fireproof and durable character. No steel frame was used, you see. Instead, wooden floors spanned iron beams encased in brick and concrete for fireproofing in partitions and flooring. The overall plan wrapped around a central 8-shaped open-air courtyard that's about 55 by 90 feet. The project employed 200 to 300 workers at its peak and was completed in October of 1884 at a cost of $1.25 million. Now let's talk about who really built the Dakota. You ready? Let's start off by talking about the Germans. These skilled men, who were legally admitted at Castle Garden, which was the city's immigration depot from 1855 to 1890, contributed precision engineering and design oversight. In fact, Henry Janeway Hardenberg, of German-Dutch descent, incorporated German Renaissance revival elements like symmetrical facades, gable roofs, and terracotta details. His plans calculated loads to ensure that the thick brick and stone walls distributed weight evenly across the 8 stories. On site, German surveyors used transits and plumb lines to align foundations during leveling. They supervised bricklaying for proper mortar bonds and directed iron I-beam placements, spacing them 10 to 12 feet apart and encasing them for fire resistance. Their Gild-trained accuracy minimized waste and ensured timely completion. This work provided them with steady wages, supporting their families and community networks in various parts of the city where they lived, including Yorkville. Now let's talk about the Italians. They were mainly southern laborers legally entering after Italy's 1861 unification, the Risorgimento. that formed the Kingdom of Italy. They brought stone and plaster working skills from their rural workshops. The Italians were amazing, still are. They carved stone for arches and cornices and window surrounds, shaping motifs like foliage with chisels and mallets. They applied terracotta panels, pressing clay into molds for durable reliefs. For interiors, Italian artisans mixed lime stucco for select apartment ceilings and walls, creating smooth bases over lath before wood paneling. This was vital in the units where stucco supported many ornate details. Working on scaffolding at heights up to 8 stories, they added luxury through efficient detailing. Hired for cost-effective precision, their efforts funded housing and feeding their families in tenements located down in Little Italy, which is where most of them lived at the time. Irish workers, many post-famine legal arrivals processed at immigration depots, provided foundational labor with masonry experience. They led clearing and excavation, breaking bedrock with picks and hauling debris for stone footings. As primary bricklayers, they laid 2 million bricks in running bonds for the outer shells and the partitions. Irish plasterers coated inner surfaces with gypsum over lath, a technique using wooden or metal strips as a base for layered plaster coats, smoothing for paint in the interiors of the apartments.
Lower the hours! Fair wages now! We won't back down!
Now, as everybody knows, don't piss off the Irish, right? That certainly is never a good idea. And so, during the 1883 strike, Irish union members demanded fair wages and securing better conditions. Their endurance grounded the project, yielding food for their families living in Hell's Kitchen. Now, I know that people around the world love to say that America's a melting pot, but it was Irish, Italians, and Germans who migrated to New York in the 1870s and 1880s, who were fleeing Ireland's famine, Italy's poverty after unification, and Germany's unrest. But they were all legally admitted with entry stamps, and they sought to work and to take care of themselves and their families and to be part of the communities at large. And they wanted to work for their wages. The Irish settled in dense Five Points and Hell's Kitchen tenements near the docks. The Italians concentrated in Little Italy and the Lower East Side. And the Germans mainly established themselves in Yorkville, where they spent time with their families and opened up bakeries and saloons and other places that contributed to the greatness of New York. Together, Americans from Ireland, Italy, and Germany erected the Dakota. The Germans helped align the structure. The Italians helped detail the ornaments and set the stucco. And the Irish helped with excavation and bricks. Their hard work helped raise their families, develop communities, and help pay for churches and schools. All these hard workers embraced the American way and this country that they loved and respected. The builders of the Dakota embraced American values of diligence, hard work, opportunity, community, honesty, and loving their families and their neighbors. And so the Dakota represents American ingenuity through its innovative design, meticulous construction, and rich social history. When considering the hard-working men who built it and the brilliant residents who have called it home over the course of time, the Dakota embodies the very best that the United States has to offer. built by hard-working hands, those of established Americans and aspiring, honest citizens alike. It endures as a symbol of the American dream.
It is dreadfully hot in the city today, my dear.
Indeed, I find it quite stifling.
So, what are your thoughts on the invaluable contributions of the Irish, Italian, and German Americans whose sweat, skill, and sheer grit help raise the Dakota into an enduring icon of New York? Do you know of any master craftsmen today with that same unyielding dedication who could craft a modern marvel like that? Can you imagine a resurgence of such architectural wonders hand-built by our neighbors who are true artisans? Yeah, if you ask me, we desperately need that beauty back in our skylines. Let's see if we can make that happen. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. This channel is sponsored by CampfireShop.com. Do me a favor and check them out, and buy some awesome candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings, and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, especially if you have Irish, Italian, or German descendants who helped build the Dakota, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.